Hi everybody, it's me, it's Vac, and as you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be something of an opinion piece, only I'm going to do this in a different sort of way, okay? I'm going to tell it to you like a story. Once upon a time there were two MMOs. In one MMO, you would run dungeons, earn tokens by finishing the dungeons, and the dungeons were filled with oodles of loot. So there was a good chance that unless your dice rolls were really bad, you would still wind up getting something by the end of it, and gearing would be relatively simple and it wouldn't be turned into a dedicated second full-time job. And the raids were done in very much the same manner. Sure, there weren't as many chests with as much loot, but there was still a decent chance that you could gear up within a reasonable amount of time. That way, you could actually run the content without having to necessarily be contractually bound to a guild or to a group in order to do anything. You didn't have to change anything in your routine to actually be able to enjoy all the content the game has to offer. Now, let's talk about another MMO, the other one in this story, which has RNG so terrible that it basically equates to opening up your door 100 times a day, and on one of those days, you don't get hit by a car! See, my issue is that World of Warcraft's dungeon and raid loot system is absolute, utter, complete, total, absolute trash. Now, you can agree or disagree with me at this point. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what your opinion is on this particular matter, okay? I am an affliction lock, okay? My main is an affliction lock. Do you know how long I have been using the same eye level 158 two-handed staff as my weapon? Because every time I run one of the few dungeons that actually drops a fucking upgrade for that staff, it never drops. And I don't do PvP, so guess what? Any of you who try to stop and go, well, maybe you should try doing the PvP, you might get a PvP weapon. I don't do fucking PvP because I find no joy in it. Now, this is my problem. This is my incredibly frustrating problem with World of Warcraft's gear system. Back in the day, you would have it so that anytime gear would drop during a boss fight, you know, you beat a boss, the boss drops loot, everybody could see the boss drops loot, everybody could do a roll for need or greed or pass. And you know what? That system works. This whole entire batshit stupid bug nuts crazy, hey, let's make it so that everybody gets a chance at getting loot, except for the fact that, oh, hey, there's a better chance that nobody's getting any loot. Do you know how painful it is for me to suffer with the fucking ignorance and stupidity of the people who fucking lick the windows all day long in World of Warcraft's group finder just to lose any sanity I have left waiting to get one piece of loot from a dungeon? And I do mean this. You have not known pain until you have played World of Warcraft, used the Dungeon Finder tool, and wound up with some of these people who just, you would think that their first instinct upon seeing a wall is headbutt that son of a bitch until a door appears. I have dealt with more dungeon runs that involve me sitting and waiting at the starting point while watching a healer or a tank or a DPS go, oh, this dungeon, nope, bye, and then waiting another 20 plus minutes for the group finder to find someone to replace them with, unless somebody else in the party decides, oh, hey, it's fine, we can handle it, we can do this without insert role here. Now, this may just be me being very salty because I've used the same 158 weapon for ever since I've hit 60. And it's been a while. The gearing process in Shadowlands is absolute trash. It's garbage. In fact, I would say that the gearing process almost all throughout, I mean, okay, people have made a point that at least in Battle for Azeroth, when you were doing your world quests, that the gear that you would get from world quests were would actually improve over time. I am currently gear score 170. All of the gear that I seem to find from these dailies are gear score 148 to 151. Very rarely will I find anything above a 160, and you do not understand how much it frustrates me and makes me want to tear my hair out one strand at a time. In fact, the fact that I lost my shit when I went to one of the dungeons. I can't remember which right now. I'm very frustrated, and it's all kind of off the cuff. I go to one dungeon, I get absolutely nothing during the entire run except for gold, and hey, look, more gold. Have some pocket change, gold. The fucking healer gets the staff after the final boss kill, and I'm just sitting here tearing my hair out going, what have I done wrong? Is it because I'm an affliction lock? Is that why RNGesus hates me? Even so, I wish Blizzard would go back to the token system. Like, okay, have your chance to have loot drop in heroics. Then establish a token system that for every heroic that you clear, you earn X amount of tokens. Tokens can be exchanged for gear. You still have to put in the effort to get the gear, so it's not really welfare or anything like that. You still have to earn your keep. And to anybody who tries to say, oh, Zach, you should run mythics. Mythic dungeons reward better gear. Let me just say something here.
Not all of us have the time or groups to run mythics with. Just a thought.
I work full time. It's not my fault that I work full-time. YouTube is not my job. Twitch is not my job. Facebook gaming shouldn't be anyone's job because nobody should be employed by Mark Zuckercuck. But I will say this much. I would like to at least enjoy the content, see the content that comes out, because unlike in Final Fantasy XIV, where you can actually enjoy current fucking content without having to be gated behind, oh, well, you need to have a super uber group of people who are available to play this game as a 9-to-5 day job. You have to be a part of a guild, yada yada yakety smackety. At least that one, it's like, hey, you just have to know how to do the fights. It's not that bad. I am really, really heated about this, and that's because, I don't know, I fucking needed to get this off my chest, or I was gonna fucking explode, and not in a good way. So, yeah, I need some fucking water because my throat is torn apart. That being said, I'm not pissed off with World of Warcraft as a whole. Before any of you decides to go, nah, Mac just hates World of Warcraft. He's sucking Final Fantasy XIV's cock again. Shut your fucking hole. I'm fine with World of Warcraft. Yeah, Shadowlands is a bit of a mediocre expansion. Go fucking figure. Who saw that coming? Raise your hands. But it's still playable. It's not as bad as Warlords of Draenor or fucking, Legion. Although some people are kind of like, ooh, Legion wasn't that bad. It's like, yeah, well, tripping and stubbing your toe isn't nearly as bad as tripping and falling face first onto the concrete. But still, it's stubbing your toe. It's still not pleasant. All that being said, I vented, I've got my anger out. I will say Final Fantasy XIV's dungeon and looting and raiding and looting experiences feel a whole hell of a lot rewarding and a hell of a lot more worthwhile than World of Warcraft's constant drudgery of wait and maybe, if you're lucky, and the stars align and the planets align and the fucking sun goes into a total eclipse, and just then the Martians manage to resurface and beam down the last episode of Third Rock. Maybe, just maybe, you might get a piece of gear if you're nice, if you are lucky. Luck should not be a part of the gearing process. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get a drink of water because now my throat hurts. And after that, I don't know what I'm going to do today. But I'll see you in the next one.